Good morning, y'all. Happy Tuesday. John with New York Metro weather. Hope you guys are doing well. Just an update on the ongoing nor'easter across the northeast United States and specifically for the New York City metro area. Very clear here on water vapor satellite imagery, our nor'easter, the curl here, and the low pressure system developing up towards New England as we head towards the late morning hours. Quite a bit of moisture and an impressive looking storm system here, and it's expected to only strengthen as we go through the day today. And this system going to continue to evolve in the New York City metro area for the next several hours. We'll start by looking at the radar up in New England. You can see, man, what a snowstorm going on up here in parts of central New York. Really from Albany westward, and then also in parts of western Massachusetts, Vermont. Really just getting hammered with heavy snow here. Likely looking at a very, very impressive, potentially historic late season storm in this region. Going down and looking at the New York City metro area, which obviously is our focus, we are on the sort of west-southwest fringes of this storm system as it stands this morning. And watching the radar loop, you can see this moisture beginning to pivot back into the area a little bit. It's not necessarily impressive, but we do have snow going on across all of eastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, the New York City metro as well. And switching to the radar beam on Long Island, you can see that snow also continuing in parts of Connecticut and southeast New York. So we have a lead low pressure system, which is very, very obvious right here. You can see it here on radar. And this is sort of helping to pivot this snow back. But if we flip over to the latest forecast model data, we can get an idea as to where we're heading here over the next couple of hours. So backing up and looking at New England, here's where we are right now. The model's doing a pretty good job of simulating the current system. We have our initial low pressure here and our secondary one redeveloping off the coast. But for now, these bands of snow are likely going to continue to pivot into our area from northwest to southeast as we move through the late morning and into the early afternoon hours. A lot of this is going to be lighter in intensity. It's not going to stick, especially in the New York City metro. But as we head into the early afternoon and we look a little bit closer at what the models are suggesting, we actually see some bands of steadier snow approaching parts of the New York City metro and southeast New York. The core of your steady snow is up here in New England, but if we zoom in on the New York City metro area, you can see the model suggesting a couple of bands of potentially heavier snow, at least steadier, moderate intensity snowfall. This is valid at 5 o'clock p.m. here, and especially from east New York and southwest Connecticut into Long Island and parts of the New York City metro. So it's possible that we do see snowfall increase in intensity early this afternoon, and into the early evening hours as well, really, during that time frame. So we're not, it's hard to say how much of this is really going to stick because of how warm it is outside. Temperatures, even as this snow is falling on models, are in the mid to upper 30s. So when you look at the forecast model and it says that we're going to get 1 to 3 inches of accumulating snow, we don't necessarily take that at face value. However, this is where the models are suggesting these bands of snow are going to be. So the possibility does exist that we do see some light snowfall accumulations in these regions. Obviously, your more expansive and impressive snow totals are up in Connecticut in those higher elevations and in New England. But it's definitely looking like we'll continue to see snow throughout the late morning and into the early evening hours across the New York City metro area. In addition to snow, we're watching the increase of wind. So if we back up again and look at what the models suggest here, really a very impressive storm system developing. Here's our lead low. We talked about it being tucked in here a little bit into Connecticut, and our secondary low starts to form and wraps in and strengthens rapidly later this evening, wrapping all the way back towards Boston as we move into the evening. And what happens is the wind field expands of the storm system in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. So here's where we are right now with this storm system at about 5,000 feet. And as you expand this afternoon and evening, you see you have a pretty substantial expansion of that wind field. Even at the surface, when we look at the forecast wind speeds, everything sort of ramps up through this afternoon. We're looking at blustery westerly winds here in the New York City metro, and up here in New England, those northeasterly winds will really begin to strengthen as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. So it's going to get windy, and we'll continue to see the bands of snow sort of rotating in and out of our area here over the next several hours. Again, it's very possible that parts of New York City and maybe even western central Long Island see some light accumulating snowfall with this activity. We'll have to watch these individual bands of snow as they pivot in. Either way, by the time we get into the early to mid-evening hours, These bands will move towards central Long Island and then off to the east eventually later tonight, with improving conditions generally expected as we head into Wednesday. So we still have several hours to go with this storm system, but it will be on its way out by tonight. As always, we appreciate you guys watching these videos, working with us. It's been cool discussing this one with all of you. And we appreciate your support, especially our Patreon subscribers that make this all possible. If you guys have a question, give us a shout. If you have a report or a photo, make sure to send it to us. Otherwise, we'll be back with an update this afternoon on how things are playing out. Thanks for watching, guys.